Well, hello, folks. This is the Saturday Sports Show on Stramash Media. Welcome along. This week we'll be talking about Scottish rugby. We're taking on the English again. We'll be looking over the football and Motherwell's amazing climb up the table. And can Hearts stay at the top? It's all there. And we'll start off by telling you the guests, well, not guests, usual pundits we've got on. Chris Linnett up there in the corner and David Robertson. How you doing, David?
Very good, thanks, Nori. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. All right, Chris?
Aye, the flag at the back doesn't flatter me, but I don't think anyone would.
Aye. Right, just getting on to the rugby. I don't know if any of you guys watched the Six Nations opener last week. We were playing Italy. And in biblical conditions, the rain came down, and it was just, you couldn't. It was the ball was like a bar of soap, but it was for both teams. But the damage was done before that happened, David.
Yes.
Scotland were right out of position, couldn't see the gaps. The fullback Tom Jordan isn't a fullback in my honest opinion. He was nowhere to be seen in the two scores that they got. What was the instructions carried out by Townsend towards the players? Has he lost the dressing room? Has he lost the plot? That was a game we should have won with the players we had. What did you make of it?
I watched the whole game. It wasn't great. I think Townsend, I think you're right in both counts. Townsend has lost both. And the quicker he goes, the better, in my opinion. Sorry, but that's the way I feel.
Really,
I don't see what he's been there 10 years now. I mean, no, it's just not, it's not good enough. Not good enough for the quality of players that Scotland have.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Nothing against Italy. My wife's Italian, so I've got to be very careful. But no, it's just not good enough.
That's a point that's been made time and time again, Chris. This is probably the best team we've had in years because Glasgow are playing really well. And we've got players playing in France, the top leagues, and in England as well. We should have won that game with the players we had.
Oh, I think in the past we've normally punched above our weight, but at the minute we're definitely punching below it. Even you get cut apart on the right hand side, and it was literally a cat. It was as if somebody just grabbed the pitch, switched it, and just went, "Yeah, there you go, mate. Just look at that space." And it was, it was a sprint really. So it was, it was as if just people just no memory at all of the first try, and then straight away there's another one, and you're sort of Scottish weather. I mean, if you remember that time where we played England, we just annihilated them using the ball and using the weather. And I thought, well, here's a wee chance here, but I think the weather was the only thing in common in that game because we didn't turn up.
No, I agree. There was times before, David, that would rise to the occasion. You'd get off the blocks, you'd run ragged to get the first points on to show. But Scotland were waiting for something to happen rather than making something happen.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Nori. I think it's exactly what happened, in my opinion. And the Italians are getting better by the year, and the more rain they get, and by God, they've got enough rain this week, the better they're going to be playing rugby in the rain.
But here's the thing, David. Do you think Italy then are a team to watch? How far up the table do you think they're going to be? Are they a par with Scotland now, or are they better than us?
I think you have to say on the performance they're easily on a par. They shouldn't be, but they are. But they're a team that they wanted that more than we did. Clearly,
yeah.
So if you ask for predictions, I hate doing predictions, but I think if you get to the end, I think they'll be above us. Yeah.
If what they're saying now, Chris, is if Townsend doesn't finish better than fourth, he's sacked, he's gone. Clear your desks. But we've already seen that the SRU they're clueless. They have no idea. They've given the Edinburgh manager, who's lost most of his matches and hasn't built a cohesive team, a new 2-year deal. What is happening with Scottish rugby? Is it the fact that we haven't got people in charge that can oversee the game properly for us?
Well, I don't think it's a good idea to reward failure I'll put it that way. But I thought I'd heard in the grapevine he was maybe heading off to Newcastle.
That's an interesting point, because he has been down there working with the club on behind the scenes. And then we get asked the question, you're getting ready for a bloody Six Nations, mate. What are you doing down there? You know what I mean? And so this is the thing about the attacks going on him, because other sports journalists are looking at all this and thinking, where's your head at just now, mate? You know?
Well, I mean, leader of the team, you're looking for it to be. I mean, fair enough if it's going down to be games to go, right, okay, I want a bit of intel on these players or whatever. But yeah, it's you know, there's not really too many coincidences in sport, and if that is the case, then yeah, I mean, it's especially a manager. I mean, it's not as if he's, you know, some sort of fringe player or whatever. So, and even then, it's not really justified. But if that is the case, again, I'll speculate. But yeah, I mean, to do well at anything in life, you have to be 100% in, and even then, you have to be lucky and all the rest of it. But the get the 100% in and worry about the rest later. So being present, I would say, yeah, it's kind of worrying, really. But I don't know if we'll end up below Italy. I'm not really sure. I don't know if we can read too much into it just now, just at the very start. But yeah, for the players I've got, it just seemed a bit lackluster. You know, and you're saying they were waiting for things to happen. I mean, first points didn't go on the board to just after 7 minutes. So yeah, they weren't looking to get out the blocks, as you say, and just hammer them at the first chance they got. You know. So it was definitely lackluster. I think that's and you want a decent bit of fight, but it just seemed as if that there just wasn't enough there.
The thing is, David, that we're looking at the teams the team that lost to Italy, and he's picked this almost the same team. He's dropped Ewan Ashman, who couldn't do the line out properly. He missed about 4 line outs. Now, just to let anyone who doesn't know about rugby, lineouts are where you start your attack. You can disguise it, you can turn it into a maul, you can get run round the back, you can put it to the front, you can really make a move. And we were in there 22 as well, and we butchered it. And do you know what? Honestly, I said to one of my mates, it seems like there's money on this game. There's betting scandals. You know, like, how can you massively muck up a line out, not once, twice, 3, but 4 times? How could you do that? This is what you practice in day and night. I played rugby at inter-district level. If our hooker done that, we'd take him off ourselves, we'd lynch him. You know, for throwing balls right over the top or not reaching the man in the middle. So he's been sacrificed. And Hiddleston's been brought in. Jamie Ritchie's in as well. He's going to give a bit of guile in the back row. But the man that came on and done so much damage and lifted the team, George Horn, hasn't been picked for the first team. He's stuck with Ben White. This is what I mean by the thrownness of Townsend. Even when it's obvious to the Scottish public that George Horn is an attacking force and has plans and he can run and he can strike right through, he's not picked. He's stuck with Ben White. What the? So even the team to play England tomorrow, there's two changes, 2 tweaks. But my God, it's going to be the same.
I expect the same outcome, to be perfectly honest. And you're right. How many coaches in various sports, it's their way or the highway until they get bulleted. And I'm sorry, but Townsend's time's up. I just don't see him surviving. Barring an absolute annihilation tomorrow, I don't think. I can't see that. I think his time's up. Yeah.
Glenn, I think it was Einstein that says the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again. Absolutely. And expecting a difference. But this is where Townsend is letting the Scottish public down. Remember, see tomorrow, I've got to bring this in. Cheapest tickets are about 120 quid to get into Murrayfield. It's get your priorities right, SRU. never mind trying to make money out of this. Get a decent team and get a decent coach. Chris?
Well, I mean, I don't see the coach lasting the whole tournament. I don't see it. But the beauty of tomorrow is that all games are a one-off, I suppose. But just I'm no totally running out of hope yet. I think what must happen is hit them straight away and hit them hard, because otherwise, then you can sit and wait and do the chess game and all the rest of it. But for me, that's the way I like my Fitbin, my rugby. Just go for the jugular straight away, and if you come off saying, well, we gave it everything and they sucker punched us, fine. But I don't want a sucker punch in the first 4 minutes for them.
Yeah, I think there's something in that, David. You've got to give Townsend a bit of credit, because I remember a time where Scotland couldn't score a try. They were tryless for about 10 games or something. Just couldn't go over the line. And he changed things and he took things, and he brought us a bit of glory. Got us a running game, but I just think he's run out of ideas, because we've never won the Six Nations. We've never even got second. Even with Townsend playing a better team, and in his words, not mine, we're playing a better standard of rugby. Well, I'm sorry, Gregor, but so are the other teams. It doesn't matter. And I'm just wondering, because my heart says Scotland win all the time, but see tomorrow, I'm just hoping that Scotland put up a game, but we lose, and that's Townsend gone. Is that a bad thing to think? Is that? Do we need to? Because what I'm thinking, David, one step back, maybe two forward.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just think that the way we're playing, and by the way, England have got a superb, in every angle, they've got superb players. And by the way, the sad news is they've got 4 players who are top players, including Henry Pollock, who could easily have played for Scotland because their parents are Scottish. There's a guy called Fraser Dingwall playing, and there's 2 others that are playing that have got Scottish connections, and they're not playing for Scotland. And by the way, here's a stat that will amaze you. Scotland are the team with the most foreign players, i.e., without a direct connection with Scotland, like their dad or themselves born here. So it's Schumann, Van der Veer, all these people that are playing in Sonny Piloto. He's got a Scottish granny somewhere, right? We'll let him off of that. But all the rest, we've got something like 46% of our squad that don't really have a real connection with Scotland. And that's the worst in the world, Chris. And maybe that's where our problems lie. Because I always think, if you're born here and you grow up on your dad's knee watching the sport and stuff, you get imbued with a sense of national pride. Other players coming in don't get that. It's just for the coin. I'm just wondering if that's a big issue.
Well, I mean, I think they would have qualified. Is it the visa scheme they would have qualified them through? Aye. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think more so for football. You want more homegrown guys, because they'd be scared to walk the streets after a serious doing. So probably not quite so much with rugby. That's a bit a bit less likely for them to get abuse and all the rest of it. But I'm sure it does. When the going's really hard, the rain's hammering and all the rest of it, and you're being asked to really go for it and put in that extra mile, then who knows? I mean, you kind of get inside their minds, but yeah, you think it could be there that you look up and what's it all for or whatever. So I mean, at the moment we're just one game in, but you could see that, that Italy definitely wanted it more. And, you could tell they had a wee bit of belief that they could get there. I think.
Yeah, I think they targeted Scotland, to be honest, as a weak link. Just like Wales. Wales aren't doing that great either, but we've got them, I think, after this game tomorrow, and that's going to be perhaps a wooden spoon decider. And this stage, it's just shocking.
Well, I heard they were struggling to get rid of all the tickets, I believe, which is quite worrying.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
Think about Wales teams of the past that I'm sure we all remember, but But Nori, if I may interject there, talking about loyalties and which country you play for, I've got a wee. I don't know what a wee. No, I've sympathy with Darren Fletcher. Both his laddies are signed to Manchester United, and one's opted to play for England and one's opted to play for Scotland. Now that must be an interesting conversation at the dinner table.
Yeah, but I think so, David. But we'll get round to that because Harvey Barnes has decided not to play for Scotland, and I'm going, get lost, you muppet. We didn't want you anyway, you know. But he's tried to put a slot in England. So all these players that have got a kind of tenuous Scottish connection, Steve Clarke, leave them alone, because who are you going to drop to let them in? What poor guy has got to bite the bullet for you? We'll get to that later. In the Six Nations, would we, three of us, I'll ask us, this is to both of you, right? Would you take a win over England and that's it, as long as we beat them and Townsend survives, or just get beat by England and Townsend goes?
Get beat by England.
That's a definite, David.
Yeah, no hesitation.
Well,
even thinking about
I don't live in London anymore, so it's not quite as there's not quite as much hanging on it now.
Aye, but
So,
we hate the English, Chris, don't we? It's sport.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't say I hate the English, but if that's the way to get rid of Townsend, fair enough, you know.
Yeah. No, we do. I mean, I use the word hate, but we really, they're our biggest enemy. Do you know what I mean? If we can shut up the commentators, get the press writing a different story, because if it's them that win, you know what's going to happen. Do you know? So if we beat England, would that satisfy the Scottish fans, the rugby fans?
Well, I mean, I remember me and you watched the last game up at yours, so there was a divided public, I suppose, up there. But I don't know. I would always just want to win the next game anyway. So the fact that it's them make it all the sweeter. But for me, just win the next game, and then we can speculate on what's going to happen after that.
Aye, wise words. Probably, I think the same myself. Then, you know, I want to see good rugby, first of all, but I want to see good Scottish rugby more than anything else. And I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face. The fact that we've only got 2 pro teams and we have got no spaces for our youngsters to fit into. That's why we recruit foreign people and give them a visa to get in. That is the wrong method. That is the wrong way of doing things. Ireland have got 4. Wales have got 4 teams. England have got something like 24 pro teams. France has got even more than that. Italy's only got 2 just now, but they're playing above their weight. They really are punching above their weight. So once we get more teams in, we can make it a bit more equal. But the way the SRU are running it, and who bloody votes them into position? Who votes them in? Old boys club. It's got to change. Right, Glenn, who couldn't be here, by the way, he's got what's it? He's got some kind of migraine. Wakes up. Aye. So Glenn, listen, get well soon, mate, and haste you back, because he's sitting in some quiz questions. You thought you'd be off the hook this week, but no. So first question: which 3 countries will Scotland face in Group B1? In the next edition of the Nations League, which starts later this year?
No idea, because I missed the draw. No idea.
Chris, have you got any idea? I've got one. I know one.
Switzerland, Slovenia.
You've got the 2 I wouldn't have got.
Switzerland, Slovenia. I should get no. So you can tie up the loose ends in.
I've got North Macedonia. That's
right,
but I think they're in. But you've got the other 2, which I didn't know. I couldn't remember, but you've got them. And I'll check my email in a minute for the answers. I won't tell what they are. Listen, there was lots of football on this week, and one of the big stories was Harvey Barnes knocking back Scotland, and Steve Clarke's now asking folk to stop, requesting any information on whether he will or won't play for Scotland. But what does this tell us, David, about the state of Scottish football when we're trying to take players from a foreign land just because they're playing well, rather than looking at the team we've built success on?
Well, that's a good question, but I would ask, who's behind this? Scottish football fans or Steve Clarke? I don't. I would rather have a guy who's a die-hard trier than.
Yep.
And I'm not even convinced Harvey McBurns or whatever his name is this week is that good. I think he'll struggle to get an England team. Hope he does. Let's have pure people that are Scots, not necessarily born here, but they want to play for the country wherever they're born.
Yeah, because there seems he was in two minds, this guy, and he was hedging his bets, Glenn, whether England would come calling for him. Sorry, Chris. And the thing is, if that's the case, if he's hedging his bets, forget him. You're out.
Yep.
You want commitment 100%.
But I mean, for it sounds like Harvey Barnes. It's like a, no win, no fee lawyer. Honestly,
I know
some spiff, but no, I mean, honestly, you just go, well, okay, so say the Scotland qualifying campaign was maybe 12 games or whatever, and it became really, really good at the end. I mean, that game will be watched in 50 years' time. But absolutely not. I just wouldn't shoehorn. The only exception for that would have been for me as if somebody gets seriously injured halfway through the qualifying or whatever, but they played their part. But just to especially an international team, to shoehorn somebody in, I would not have entertained it at all. I don't know whether they kept it going to sell papers or whatever, but for me, the opportunity to inject mistrust and, a bit of cynicism and all that into that's exactly what you would do with that. So absolutely not. I wouldn't care who he was.
But there was a lot of people, I don't know who they are, but they're on social media saying, no, Scotland should get it. We need the best there is, and he's playing well for Newcastle. But this is, and there was a lot of pressure to get the guy to say something. And all the media were asking him, David, who do you want to play for? Who do you want to play? So he's come out and said England, because he feels more English. And that's fair enough.
Fair enough. Just look at Declan Rice. He played for Ireland. And then decided to switch. And he gets dogs abuse in Ireland.
So does Harry Kane.
Yes.
His parents are, there's a few of them. Do you remember when Aidan McGeady went to play for Ireland?
Absolutely.
The young Irishman.
Aye. But listen, the SFA at that time didn't pick him. And they didn't even sniff round him. And the Irish Football Association came across and said, do you want to play for us? What do you expect him to say? And he's half Irish, at least he's got an Irish name. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But it was funny because I remember there was a game, Aidan McGeady was playing for Ireland and Sean Maloney was playing for Scotland. What kind of Scottish name is that? I don't think. My goodness.
I think he came up through Aberdeen, did he know, as well?
He did, aye. Yeah, he did, aye. Way back. I'm trying to get the answers for the question one. Yeah, Chris, we knocked it off. Slovenia, Switzerland, and North Macedonia. Between us, we got them.
That sounds like a good draw.
I don't know. We met Switzerland in the Euros, and they done a turn on us more or less, didn't they? They're still a good team.
I was at the Macedonia game actually a few years ago, the away game, the one that we played at the hottest time of the year, at the hottest time of the day, and we get beat 1-0 with a dodgy penalty. I remember that well. I know. Was that Alex McLeish that was in charge of that one? Probably. We had to beat them and we couldn't do it. I know. Mine alive. All right, we'll come to the next one in a minute. Let's go on to football. When I stayed in Hamilton, guys, Chris, you know this, I went to see Motherwell playing because Hamilton was it was down that way or that way. It was between us, it was 6.5 dozen which way you went.
And always Motherwell had a good pitch and a good players, good team, and played good football. And they were playing pretty well. I mean, Kettlewell was there when I was there, and he was all right, you know. But now, Motherwell are just playing the most amazing football. And by the way, I think most tickets are sold for that game. That is incredible that they're selling out Fir Park, Chris. I've been there when it's been half empty, seriously. But because they're playing good football and they've got a good manager and are getting results, the place is jumping. What is happening there, Chris? What happened overnight? Was it just the manager?
Well, community happened overnight. No, and I mean, it's like most clubs have a community element, but he's really embraced it. And
He has.
You know,
Aye.
very, very. I mean, he's not going to sit and entertain daft questions all day, but he's a very open guy and wants feedback, and that's the punters are liking it. Not, you know, sold. You know, no doubt there'll be a few discounted tickets, but you've got to remember that keep filling the ground every week, and then the merchandise and all the rest of it, and suddenly it gets into people's psyche that this is what we do on a Saturday or a Sunday. So brilliant. I mean, and I would just say that there's not that far away for the top three, really.
I know.
Couple of results. So it's a really positive. Really, as I say, I play with a couple of guys at the fives, and they're loving it right now.
Are they? No wonder. Every time I see them on telly, David, and it's clipped, you know, for obvious reasons, but they're playing this passing game, and they've got so much energy and fitness that you look at the bench, and there's players there that could easily go into any Premiership team, but they're waiting their time. And the thing, Paul McGinn, I think he's about 34, 35. He's playing like a spring chicken. Do you know what I mean? He's got everything in front of him to pass to. What a joy that must be. You know, when people are running into space and he just knocks the ball to them. Football can be easy sometimes, can't it? But they're certainly doing a job down there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's joy to watch. Love the manager. Love the way he calls out the referee. Yeah, fantastic. All credit to him. Brilliant.
But where was he before this? How did Motherwell stumble on this, Chris, this fantastic manager?
I don't know. I mean, they just had a succession of managers like Winters and then Kettlewell that just ran away for the club. So obviously, this guy's just come in the door. I think he was managing in Scandinavia, but yeah,
Scandinavia somewhere. Yeah,
he just seems to have found a club that everything gels just now. But obviously, he's been given carte blanche to say, right, okay, this is how we want to build it from the ground up. And at the moment, the public seem to be. I mean, I'll be honest. I watched the game the other night, and the pitch, you know, the pitch was kind of dodgy, but they got a result. So fair play to them.
Well, was that the Rangers game? Because I was watching that. They went down 1-0, and I tell you, even with 10 men, they were still the better team. They were still trying to get forward with pressure and then running back at the counter. They scored a goal. Stephen Welsh came back from Celtic. It's a funny one, that. He came and went and came back again. Do you know what I mean? But he scored a cracker. And Manwanisi, the funniest thing I saw in the African Nations Cup was the African commentators, because I was watching it on YouTube, we're talking about Motherwell, you know, and all this Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Manwanisi plays for Motherwell, you know. I thought, yes. And it's because this manager has had faith in this player, Manwanisi, that he's now been called up to play for his country, Zimbabwe. That is the highest accolade, isn't it? That is amazing football. And I would urge people, if you're in the Motherwell area and you're looking for something to do on a Saturday afternoon, get along to Fir Park if you can get a ticket. And I'm on the email list to Fir Hall, and they're saying that Fir Park is bursting at the seams. Mrs. Bailey's fan zone will be open tomorrow, right? So get along to that, but it's for home fans only. If you're an Aberdeen are playing, or is it tomorrow or Sunday? I don't know, but you can't get in. It's just for home fans. That's Mrs. Bailey's fan zone is open. And there'll be a collection for Saints Scotland at the match as well. Buckets going round at Fir Park. I thought
you were going to say Mrs. Bailey fans only. I thought, listen, we better keep that kind of stuff.
Mrs. Bailey's fan zone, I said. I didn't go anywhere near that, Chris Linnett. You did, you lucky sort. Anyway, let's go on to another team that are playing amazingly well. Heart of Midlothian. I mean, this might grind your gears, David, but they beat Hibs.
They are playing well. I don't know what to say, but I agree with you. They're playing well. It's now getting to the stage where they're getting close. They're getting really close, I think.
Yes. This is the point, isn't it? Because McInnes was saying that when we went top in the early stages, nobody was bothered. They thought we might topple off. Then they got another month, and then another month. And then they got to November, December. They're still there, and people are going, but you lost a game. You're losing. If you lose a game, that'll be it. And then, of course, they lost to St Mirren, and everybody thought the wheels would come off. But they're still top of the league. Do you know what I mean? Can they do it? Can they hang on with their fingertips to the end?
I think they're still top of the league because teams like, dare I say, Hibs and City and Rangers are not performing as they should. Can they hang on? I think they definitely can hang on. Yeah. I think is the only
12, I think.
It's difficult to see who's going to lose against, to be honest. I would think they're probably favourites to win now.
I think so. Julius, I looked at Rangers playing
Motherwell. Yeah.
Well, Motherwell. I looked at Rangers, Chris, playing Motherwell, and I thought, they're not a great team. Rangers are not a great team.
No, they're not.
They might be on this winning streak, but I think there's too many players. I think the referee's helping them out as well, by the way.
You reckon?
Just saying. They get a lot of awards. They get a lot of 50-50s, and I don't know why that should be. But, when you've got people like Douglas Ross, an officiator in one of the games, what you expect, What would you expect? I'm not saying the league's corrupt or anything, but for Hearts to win, they'll have to buck that trend of corruption, I think. And hopefully they'll do it. But their team is just pouring out with good players. Good Scottish talent as well, Chris. Bodes well.
Aye, and what a lot of people don't realise as well is that obviously Cammy Devlin and they're at Shanklands, is it? And they seem to have, they seem to have weathered that storm a wee bit. So it's definitely all there to play for, and the fact that Celtic and Rangers are not doing as well, that's on Celtic and Rangers, to be honest. And I mean, Hearts have taken a lot of points off the two of them. So Sunday, it's at home. So in a lot of ways, I think there'll be a massive fear factor for Rangers because they don't like this. They don't like the pressure. So there's a lot there. I don't know when Devlin and Shanklands are coming back, but I mean that'll be a breath of fresh air. That's a couple of goals.
But David, they seem to get the goals from somewhere. That's a sign of a good team, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, personally, I'd leave the both of them out because I think they're playing better football now without them. Shankland's away next season anyway, so I mean, whatever. But yeah, it's difficult to see them not winning now, to be honest. And that'd be great for Scottish football.
I think it would. I think it would. Craig Gordon's not getting a game. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Because Scotland haven't got a wealth of goalkeepers. Although John McCracken of Dundee, I've got to put his name, and Scott McBain playing out their skins for both teams. But we'll get to that later. But it would be good to see Craig Gordon get a turnout now and again. But it doesn't seem like it because the goalie in there's pretty well. And what about Xander? Xander, the Hearts goalie. What's ever happened to him?
He went on loan down south somewhere, I think. Did he not?
Where's he gone?
I don't know where exactly he's going, but I'm sure he went on loan somewhere.
Is he getting a game? Because I googled him, I couldn't get nothing on him. I couldn't get anything on him.
Team.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doncaster Rovers.
That sounds familiar.
Is it Doncaster?
Yeah.
All right. I'll maybe get a look at that for next week. Second question from the quiz again. Thanks to Glenn. He's asking, which current Scottish Premiership footballer played for Nice and then Anderlecht before signing for a Scottish club? I have no idea. Who played for Nice? Nice.
No clue.
Is he Scottish?
Which current Scottish Premiership footballer played for Nice? So it's just a footballer in the Scottish League, I guess.
Nice.
Who came from France? Who came from France into Scottish football?
Well, you think it probably one of what used to be called the old firm teams, because they probably only could afford them. But
Nice.
I'll just say Dimitri then. I don't know.
Yeah,
Dimitri, aye. Yeah. We'll let that one sink. We'll let
Where
that
does
one
Glenn
go.
come up with these questions? Seriously.
Glenn.
I mean,
I know that's a toughie, that one. By the way, if you're listening to this and watching this, always remember to like and share and, press that wee alarm bell so you get notification of every time we're on without any problems. And that's what you should do, David, for the Hodma Jacket show. Just
tried that already. I think my ticket's numbered.
Well, anyway, onwards and upwards. We're getting on. Blimey, time's flying. By the way, the other bit of news, me and Chris are Aberdeen fans, to note that Tony Docherty is coming to the fray, into the backroom coaching side. Chris, any thoughts on that?
I think it'll be useful to have on board. I mean, he'll G the boys up a wee bit, and I mean, Peter leaving him. Yeah, I think it's an interim thing. So I don't. At the moment they're not really firing on all cylinders, and there definitely seems to be a lack of effort. So I think why not? I suppose.
What about you, David? Do you think it's a good move? Bearing in mind he was at Ross County and he hardly won a game with the team. And he was supposed to be a good manager, but maybe that's not what he's there for. He's there to not manage a team but be in the coaching side. So maybe a difference there.
Very possibly. I like Docherty. I thought he had some good ideas. Maybe not great results, but like Chris, I don't think it's a bad thing. I can't see him making the team worse, with all due respect.
No, but it's fair enough because he's got a knowledge of Scottish football. Yeah. He's been a coach, he's been a manager. He kind of knows players and what happens. And the speed and the pace and all that kind of stuff, and he can maybe advise a bit more. It's not like a foreigner coming in trying to put in a new angle on it or something. I just thought that was an interesting one. Let's get to. I'm going to go on to the answer to that last question because I've no idea. Let's see. I wouldn't have got this in a million years. Kasper Schmeichel.
Oh, really? No, I haven't got that either.
No. He played for Falkirk at some point, but that would have been donkeys ago.
Yeah, he did. But he went.
That was 20 years ago, I think.
He went from Leicester and he went to a French team, and I couldn't remember. Then he came back to Celtic. I don't know. That was the answer. Kasper Schmeichel, anyway. Right, what have we got? Has anyone got the list of football matches we can review for this weekend?
Well, Hibs are playing St Mirren.
As a Hibs fan, David, where are Hibs right now?
Mid-table, at best.
Do you think they're a top 6 team?
Hibs a top 6 team?
Aye, right now. Right now, they're top 6.
I wouldn't say so. No, I don't think so. No, I don't. I mean, the Hearts game was a nothing game. Both teams are poor, and one McGrath just back from injury. He shot a ball and Rocky decided not to go and pick it up, and bingo, there you go. Good luck to Hearts. I wouldn't say it's a toxic team, but I think if perchance, Falkirk are now on our tail. And it's only by goal difference that I can't see Falkirk stealing 12 goals. Well, maybe over the season, maybe, but that's not good. But I think watching David Gray, I think for the first time he was irritated by the team publicly, and I can totally understand his irritation because I was irritated as well for the first time.
So I wonder what's happening there, because they were playing very well, very good football up to a point. But I guess the Motherwells and the Hearts and the Celtic and Rangers, of course, have just overtaken them. And
absolutely.
They've fallen down a wee bit, but it's still a good team. It's still a good team. Chris, St Mirren, I don't know what's happening to St Mirren. I think they're a good team, and then they get beat by Kilmarnock. I think they're a duff team, and then they win. But I can't. Will the real St Mirren please stand up?
Well, I mean, the first thing you've got to say, forget about anything else, but physically after that ding dong during the week, then they're going to be feeling that. No
good
doubt
point.
about that. So,
really good point. Yep.
Plastic pitch and all the rest of it. So they're going to be tough for them, I think. But no, I mean, I think Hibs right now on merit are a top 6 team, and you're going to go through the doldrums a wee bit, and you just rise above it. Bear in mind, they've lost Bowie recently as well. I mean, I think that was going to happen. But no, I mean, Boyle, I think he's still good for a goal. So I would, if you want for a prediction, I would say I think Hibs will edge this one.
I think so too. Josh Mulligan's a fine player. The Cadman twins are good players. On his day, Rocky Bashiri is a very good player. And when he's not on his day, he seems to be a lazy player, David. And I don't know if that's because he's not fit or whatever. I don't know. But it depends what the weather's like for that player. He's kind of like, if it's a nice day, he'll play well. If it's not, but honestly, I still think Hibs are a really good team.
Yeah, I think they're a fair team, but they're underachieving without a shadow of doubt, in my opinion.
But they'll come good.
I don't know. Yeah.
You should be an Aberdeen supporter. You'll see.
Well, yeah, okay.
I'm telling you,
we've all been there and done that, so I know what you're saying. But
who knows? The other thing is, there's 2 other teams that are playing really well in that league. One's down the bottom, but I think they're in a transition, and that's Dundee. I think we all were a bit mystified how Stephen Presley got the gig there. And when he came on, he gave his first interviews. We thought, who the hell is this? What's he up to? But it turns out he's a damn good manager. And even though they're second bottom, they're still a good team. He's building a team. And I don't think they'll get relegated, even though they're down there. I think he'll have enough in them. John McCracken in goals, superb goalie. Honestly, I've watched him on Finlay Robertson, another good Scottish talent, playing out with skin for Dundee. Where did he come from? Tony Yogani, this is another guy, I think he came from Morocco, I think. I'm not sure. Jan Dandas there, Scotty Wright's there, so he's building up the basis of a good team, Chris, that you can see. And they're playing good attacking football, and they can defend.
Congreve as well. Yeah, I mean, the cult of personality that is Stephen Presley, it's a conundrum, but I mean, I'm going to stick my head out and say I don't think they're safe yet, because nobody really knows. When you're talking about will the real St Mirren turn up, I would say the same about Kilmarnock, and they could well get the bounce. So for a neutral's point of view, hopefully it does hot up a bit down there, but I certainly wouldn't say that Kilmarnock are definitely for the off.
No, me neither. But on basis, I think Dundee are playing a silky team, almost Motherwell-esque. That passing game, looking for spaces. The second ball's always won, and they can play from the back quite well, and pass the ball through 4 players.
And the boy up front's not too bad either.
Well, Presley's good. I think he's got the makings of a good player coach there. The team that's playing really well just now is Falkirk. We can't ignore what they're doing. John McGlynn, man alive. This guy can get a tune out of anyone, Chris, can't he?
Brilliant.
He must have the magic powder, the magic dust.
The old bald eagle.
He's
the quiet man, I think. So he just gets on with it quietly, and obviously a great manager, but doing really well. And but I did say at the start of the season, I absolutely thought they'd end up a top 6 team.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And getting rid of Scotty Arfield, who's a prolific scorer, but he couldn't get in the team. He went to Livingston, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a certainty that Livingston are going down, even at this early stage. They just haven't got enough points amassed. I mean, mathematically, they still could survive, but it would been winning every week, and I just can't see that. So I will say right now at this point that Motherwell are doomed. Livingston are doomed. Livingston are doomed. So that's the St Mirren Hibs game. Any others? I know Motherwell are playing Aberdeen. And I think Motherwell are going to absolutely hammer us. Even if it's just 1-0 across the pitch, they'll destroy us because we haven't got a settled team. We've got different players playing out of position and playing off form as well. And that's never a basis for a team that can win a match, Chris.
Aye, I mean that's a Sunday game, right? And I think we've still got a couple for the Saturday then. So are we doing predictions for Falkirk, Dundee United, and Dundee Livy?
Well, we'll just do the Aberdeen one game and go back to them ones. We'll do the Aberdeen one first. We're just highlighting how Motherwell are playing really well. And my take on this is my team Aberdeen will have to play out of their skins to get anything from Fir Park. And I just don't think they've got it at this point. I think Motherwell will just carry on like before. And even if they win by 1 goal, 1-0, I bet you they beat us all over the park getting that 1 goal. I think. What do you think, Davey?
Yes, 1 or 2-0. I think they're playing silky football. I think they've got the bit between their teeth. I think the manager's definitely got the bit between his teeth. And third's there for the taking, and what a prize that would be.
Poof. Chris, what are you thinking as an Aberdeen fan?
Well, Polvara's obviously away, but Lyle Cameron, I think that's he's obviously had a second lease of life, but a club that obviously values him because he's been playing since he got the loan. So I mean, Aberdeen they're saying right, okay, leaving stages now, then get Tony Docherty in. So it's good like that they're not going to just jump on the first manager that they fancy. I mean, this talk of 50 whatever managers, we all knew that was nonsense. But so they're going to wait for Holland, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a stopgap just now. So I think Motherwell will smell blood and probably run out winners. Aye.
Yeah. I think Motherwell can see weakness in teams and attack it. I honestly do. I think they're that good. So all three of us are going for a Motherwell win. What are the other games tomorrow, Chris? We can look at.
Aye, so Falkirk, Dundee United.
If it's a home game, I'm going Falkirk for the reasons I've said earlier. I think McGlynn is just a purveyor of tactics and formations, and he knows how to get the team playing. They've got damn good players, and he's another one that likes to play from the back. They're quite easy to the goalkeeper just kicking the ball out to defenders and working their way up the pitch. They can do it without batting an eyelid and scoring a goal. And I don't think Dundee United have got, under Jim Goodwin, I don't think they've got enough, nous to win that game, to be honest. 2-0 Falkirk.
Right. Well, I mean, Dundee United have been kicking their heels for 3 games, so I don't know. I think they'll be champing at the bit, as they say. So I'm going to go for 1 each.
1 each? Wow. What about you, David? Do you think Falkirk they're just on this roll just now? They know how to win games.
I do think Falkirk will win by the odd goal. I think McGlynn is very savvy. And with all due respect to the Dundee United manager, I don't think he's that savvy as such. But yeah, it's difficult to see Falkirk losing that game, really, to be honest.
I think that's it. It's difficult to see anything but Falkirk win. You can't, unless the goalie, a penalty or something like that happens. But I'm taking Falkirk to win. Chris going for the draw. Dave, you going for the win as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one up, Chris?
That's Sunday. Well, we did Dundee Livy, didn't we? Aye.
No,
it's not done that yet.
That's a Saturday game then. Yeah, so I mean, I'll go straight in and say, yeah, I really fancy Dundee. I would, Marvin Bartley's he's in now, so I think it's a free hit for him. I think they'll probably, no matter what happens, I think he'll get at least to start the next season anyway. But I would say, I mean, the way Celtic played, Livy ran them, close a wee bit. So, but I think that was more down to Celtic being all over the place. So I fancy Dundee 2-0.
I fancy Dundee to ramp up. If they're playing, if they come out of second or third gear, Livingston are dead meat. Because this Dundee team are playing exciting football, fast football. Can the new manager make a difference? There might be a bounce. He might change things round. But I think Dundee, by the way, who are fighting for their lives as well, we mentioned this earlier on, I've got it in them to up the ante and get the win. 1-0, 2-0. I think whatever it is, Presley will take it.
I think Dundee will win. I don't think Livingston have got anywhere near the firepower required to win that game.
Yeah. Do you know this, Chris? When I was watching Livy a couple of weeks ago, one thing I always know about professional footballers, see if they lose the ball, they'll always run back and try and, affect change and try to get it back again. But a couple of the Livingston players were they lost the ball and they were walking back towards their own goal.
McGowan.
They just can't have that. No wonder managers get sacked, Yeah. So on that basis, I think Dundee to win.
I've been watching John Hartson DVDs, no doubt.
Yeah, probably. But he was a striker, not midfield player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next? Who have we got on the list?
Right, so Sunday, so it's Kelly Celtic.
Whoa. Here's a question. Do you think Martin O'Neill's as great a manager now as he was before? Or is he just damn lucky? He just knows how to speak to people. Is he a good manager still?
I think he was a really good manager, but I think he's just going through the motions now. And you got to remember, the guy's very well educated. He's got university degrees. He knows the score, but I just think he's going through the motions. See if Kelly wins tomorrow. I'm giving up. I think Hearts. That's it. It's done deal. Done deal tomorrow. Kelly win.
Chris, what do you think of Martin O'Neill? Is he a chancer getting this gig and just telling people go and win? Because the game's changed completely since he was a top manager.
Yeah, but I mean, he was never the hairdryer Alec McLeish or anything like that. So even back in the day, it can operate in the modern game far more so than Alex Ferguson could. A lawsuit every a rumble or a lawsuit every second game. So I mean, he came into a team and he didn't think he'd been managed, and then he comes back. So compare him to Willifred, then great. they've been riding their luck so much, and the way they play just now, it's like I was watching that game and it's like they seem to think they were Barcelona. They're like, you're not gonna. And I said at the time, I said, they need to stop passing it. They need a guy at the edge of the box at the centre just to get his laces through it. That's correct. Just do that and that. And I mean, Oxlade's finish was a bit sweeter than that, but essentially, just the Einstein, that's what they were doing, knocking it around the box, hoping something would happen, and it was never going to happen. They need to change that mindset, or they're going to come a cropper.
See, that's what I was thinking, because if that game had been one each and Oxlade Chamberlain hadn't scored that great goal, I mean, the problem was Livingston didn't cover him, didn't block the tackle, didn't run out to where the ball was, and it was Livingston. If Celtic had got a 1-1 draw there, then the knives would be out for him saying, why couldn't you beat the bottom of the table team? But it took a wonder goal to get and everything changes, the whole dynamic changes because everyone's saying it's a win, 3 points, blah, blah, blah. But Celtic were struggling to get that goal. And that's why on this match, I think Killie, who have shown they know the nose to goal now. They've scored 4 goals and they're scoring loads of goals. I think this could be a chance for Killie to really, really put a nail in Celtic's coffin this year.
Come on, Killie.
But that's my head speaking, Chris. What about you?
I would agree. I think they've rode their luck far too many times, and they're far too. It's bad enough being predictable, but being predictable and slow. That's just
aye. Yeah, exactly.
They're missing Jota, and he's not coming back anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, Sarachi's great. He's a brilliant player. They should definitely get him for Walker Junior permanent. But they need more urgency, and they need to mix it up. A long ball every now and again does not hurt, especially with that Yarancha or whatever. They need to mix it up and play faster. But I think Kelly will get a draw.
Wow. That's what I'm thinking as well. It could be a 2-2 draw. Celtic getting a late goal. But is it, David, with a team like Celtic, Oxlade-Chamberlain could be the key to getting a better team? That experience and that lead?
No, I don't think so. I think he's a super player, although his dad was a good player too, but super player, and he's probably on a high at the moment, but I don't see one man dragging 10 others up to the standard that Celtic supporters expect. I just don't see it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've got a last question before we get to I've got one more match to review. Can I get this question in before we do it? Who are the only Glasgow club, other than Celtic and Rangers, to have won the Scottish Top Flight League title? There's not many left. There's Partick Thistle and Queen's Park. Who's won the league? Partick Thistle.
Those two would have to be Queen's Park, surely. I don't remember Partick.
It must be going back to your
dot. Long before I was born.
Yeah, there's definitely a lace in whatever ball they were playing me, I would think. Aye,
exactly. Well, let that. I was
going to say Third Lanark.
Whoa!
Did they win the league? They did.
I don't know, but that's just a sort of left field question, and I don't even know if they played in Lanark. But I'm just going through my topical Times football books. Rolodex, as they say. I
had Bill Crampsey's yearbook, and he always used to remind us of this player called Harry Haddock that played for some team or other, and Third Lanark was his other pet, that he would always mention. And I'm convinced as well that I can't be sure, but there's something in my head says Third Lanark, right? It's no Queen's Park. I don't think they've won it. I don't think Partick Thistle have won it. I honestly don't think they've won it. So it must be something like Third Lanark. I don't know. Third Lanark, I'll say. I don't know.
Glasgow City, if it's the women's, I don't know.
Glasgow City won it. I don't know. I'll get that in a minute. The answers are in the back. I can't remember what I wrote. Third Lanark. That's thanks, Glenn. That was three tough questions.
Questions, yeah.
Really tough questions. But do you want easy ones? You want hard ones?
No, we want the hard ones.
Exactly. What's the last game we've got to review, guys, before we wrap up?
Rangers Hearts.
Whoa! I'm telling you now, unless Rangers can get their team organised, and I'm talking about pressing forward, maybe even a low block on the Hearts team, you have got no chance against this Hearts team who know how to win. They know how to win. And I'm putting Hearts down. Even if it's 1-0, Hearts will take that. And that's what McInnes said at the Hibs game. There's more than one way to win a game. And I love that about McInnes. And I love the way he's keeping everything calm at Tynecastle. But my money's going on a Hearts win. A win. I'm not going for a draw, Chris. I'm going for a win on this one.
Right. Well, I think if nothing else, that Rangers are going to be really nervous.
Yes.
Home and just understanding that they're, a man up. Just even when they were a man up against Motherwell, they looked really, really fragile. And Butland's wonder save, and then 2 minutes later, he's literally kicking the ball to the opposition in his own box. So you take your pick with him, honestly. So I think Hearts will go for the win, but I think it'll be a draw against. I think Hearts they'll go out there and play. Rangers will be nervous, but yeah, I think it'll be a draw, maybe one each.
One each. David, do you think it'll be a 12-man against 11-man game? The referee will be.
Without a doubt, it depends who that 12th man is. If he's a Rangers season ticket holder, which I expect him to be, and Rangers, I think, must realise if they don't win on Sunday, that it's all but a bogey. I think so.
Yeah.
Having said that, I wouldn't bet against Hearts winning. Definitely not.
I would. Do you know this? It's almost like I remember when I played rugby, and when we were on a big run, we were like a juggernaut. It was hard to stop us. We just knew how to win. Yeah. Every game we were fixed on how to win the game. It almost became an addiction. Winning's a real thing to get your teeth into, because when you're doing it, you're happy. You're in a good state of mind. And I think Rangers are the exact opposite of that. They kind of get a good team. So my feeling is Hearts are going to get it. Even if it's 1-0, 2-0, they will take that. They will take that. A last-minute goal, they will take it, because the 3 points are all they want. And they know how to get 3 points. There you go. If you've stayed with us, folks, for the whole of this show, thank you so much. We'll be back again next week. Our condolences to Glenn Reid. Glenn, hope you get well soon, mate. Migraine is not a good thing to have. And for now, anyway, for this programme, that's us. Thanks, David, for joining us, mate.
Thank you for the invitation, as always, chaps. Brilliant.
Chris, good on you, mate. We'll catch up next week, hopefully.
Thanks. Right. All the best.
All the best, guys. Cheers now.
Cheers.